Hello children, how are you? Hope good. I'm Shahab Khan and back with my first teaching video. And this is, as I told you, this would be about, this video is Julius Caesar and Act 5 of Julius Caesar. And why Act 5? Why starting with Act 5 seems odd, but I've explained like why it is going to be Act 5, because primarily because these two schools are nearing the time when I'm shooting this video, when I'm starting this coaching class, this online tutorial. The schools are nearing completion of their syllabus, so to be in tune with them, I'm starting with this only, and later on I'll come up with the other videos, other acts of this Julius Caesar. So as I'll try to give you a very good perspective and make you understand things in a good way, better way, and so that you, while dealing with your question papers in exams, you are well adapted. You have a very good grasp, a good understanding, good in-depth understanding of what is being asked and what you have to write. Okay, so as because the language of Julius Caesar is, as you know, Shakespeare's language is not what we read, we understand, we know. So that has to be explained in simple language, and that is how I'm going to do it. Like, okay, but to give you a good perspective, see, this is the starting of. I'm starting with Act 5. So the importance of Act 5 is like, this is the concluding part of this is how the drama conclude. This is the concluding part of the drama. So obviously things reach their logical conclusion in this act. Reach this logical conclusion is there, and so we have to see the importance of everything that has been taught, and everything that has been this is part of this drama. Okay, so the most important thing that is the most important aspect of this act is that it gives us a perspective. It gives us the idea as to what Brutus was. He is the most important one of, perhaps the most important character. People can argue whether Antony was the most important character, or Julius Caesar, or Brutus, but the play revolves around him. All the actions revolve around him only. Okay, so most of the you can interpret it the way you want. Literature is like, you are free to interpret it the way you want. If you want think that Brutus is the most important character, you can think that way. You can have your arguments for that. If you think Antony is the most important character, you can have your arguments for that. If you think someone else, well, you're free to do that. But you need to have your arguments and logics in place. So, but most of the critics, they believe that Brutus is the hero of this play, and even I believe that Brutus is the hero. But there are critics who go against it, and you are entitled to your own view. Nothing is can be nothing is binding on you. Like, if I have said that he is the hero, he is the hero. But yes, most of the critics believe that he is the hero, primarily because he made the most, the amount of sacrifice that Brutus made. He had to leave his, he had a very good reputation. He had a very good loving family, wife, and he's the most respected man in the whole of Rome, as per the play. That's historical fiction, but as per the play, the most respected man in Rome when the play starts. Perhaps more than Julius Caesar also. Perhaps, okay. And when the play starts, he's most respected, and he has to leave everything, and now he's wandering away. He has to leave Rome. He has to wander away and collect an army to fight Antony. And so he has made the greatest sacrifice. He has to leave everything that was there for him, for the taking, that was there on a platter for him. He had to leave everything, and then that's why he made the greatest sacrifice. His family, his wife, whom he loved very much, very important. And the most important thing that goes in that goes for this argument, that he was the hero. Even Antony acknowledges this fact, that he was alone who did it on account of no personal grudge. He did not have any personal grudge against Caesar. Like other conspirators, they had a personal grudge. They did not like Caesar for other reasons. But Brutus, he did not have any personal grudge. He was a great friend of Julius Caesar. And even while stabbing, he said, he was not, his heart was not at it, but what mattered more to him was his loyalty towards the citizens of Rome. So it was this loyalty, it was this nobleness that makes him apart, which Antony acknowledges, and most of the critics agree with this. But yes, Those who do not want to, agree, they have their own benefits, they have their own arguments. He was the main benefactor of everything that happened. The moment he joined the conspirators, was in charge of the affairs. Okay, that things were happening the way he wanted them to happen. And again, if things had gone the way according to plan, if he had not this misinterpret made up some tactical errors, he would have been the person who might have been ruling Rome, right? Okay, might have been ruling. Again, there was this Senate thing, so that's also debatable. But yes, he would have been, even if he had not been the single ruler, he may have been the most influential person among the Senate. Okay, so that is there. So if but that didn't things did not go according to plan. So then the things went awry, and everything turned upside down, and the Brutus was killed. Okay, so that is how it is. That is the way things pan out. Things reach their conclusion in the things reach their conclusion on the death of reach conclusion on the death of as Brutus dies. Okay, and we see Octavius asserting himself as the ruler of the triumvirate. He disobeys. Octavius disobeys Antony before the end of the play, emphasizing that he was the new Caesar. He would be in charge of the affairs once this happens. Okay, so that was the brief introduction, and the character sketch of all the major players. I'll be doing that. Okay, later on after the completion of all the acts, or maybe at the end of Act 5 also I will do. See, okay, so this is now I'll start with the text of Act 5, Scene 1. This is what I'm going to do today. Okay, Act 5, Scene 1. Okay, it got erased, so let me write it again. Okay, Act 5, Scene 1. Okay, so the scene is like Philippi. Okay, battlefield of Philippi, where Octavius and Antony enter the scene. Battlefield at Philippi, battlefield of Philippi, where Octavius and Antony enter. Octavius and Antony enter. Octavius, now Antonio, our hopes are answered. You said the enemy would come down, but keep the hills and upper regions. It proves not so. The battles are at hand. They mean to warn us at Philippi here, answering before we demand of them. So Octavius says that Antony, the way they wanted the things to proceed in this battle, this is a monologue, so I'm up here. It says, when I teach you, when 1-to-1, like, in the class, I make the students laugh out heartily. But this is a monologue, I got to be serious, okay? When Octavius, says that, okay, Antony, the way things are panning out, it has happening the way they wanted it to be, like, So, and Octavius says that, they had expected the way they had expected things are panning out that way only. Antony was expecting them to be on the hills and on the high grounds, but instead they have come down, and that is what they wanted. If the enemy is on a higher platform, on a high raised level, to confront them would be a bit tougher task. A bit tough task, but when they are on their ground, you can see the enemy face to face, and that is why it's easier to confront them when they are on the higher up hills. You won't know where they're hidden, where they would attack from, and that could make things a bit difficult. But when they are on the level ground, on the same ground, obviously things becomes easier. Okay, and they had on the plains of Philippi, and Octavius was pretty happy about it and said that, okay, now they are on the plains of Philippi, and that is what suits us, and it should be better for them. So what does Antony say? Tut, I am in their bosoms, and I know wherefore they do it. They could be content to visit other places and come down with tearful bravery, thinking by this face to fasten author that they have courage, but it's not so. And he says, yes, they have come down to the ground only to show that they have a lot of bravery and courage, which is not actually the case. This is just a show of bravery, which they are frightened. They are quite a frightened lot, and to show the opposite, and so to keep the morale of their army high, that the officials have decided to take them to the ground, and so that they show to the people that yes, they are ready to face things one on one and take things as it comes. But actually they are quite frightened, and this action of them shows that they are just pretending that they are actually. Otherwise, tactically, even Antony feels that it may have been better for them to fight from a higher level, but to show, yes, we are there, we are not afraid of you, like, so see, we are there in your face, we'll fight it out face to face. So that makes things easier for us, and that's just a show of bravery. That also shows that yes, we have the upper hand, and it's they are frightened at their heart, and they do not have courage. They're just showing apparent show of courage, which they are lacking. Then comes a messenger. Okay, messenger, prepare you generals. The enemy comes on in a gallant show. The bloody sign of battle is hung out, and something to be done immediately. Okay. So the messenger comes with a message. Okay, see that. They are the army, the opposition, Cassius and Brutus's army. They are coming with a grand display of their strength. They are coming with banners all around, and all the army, and fully prepared to fight, and apparently showing that they are ready to fight, take it on as it comes, like. Okay. Anthony, Octavius, lead your battle softly on upon the left hand of the even field. So Antony instructs Octavius to lead the forces to the left side. Okay, the plan was to they had two wings. One was being led by Antony, other was being led by Octavius. So they had planned to attack from two different fronts, and as Antony had been in charge of things till now. But yeah, this is very important when these lines are very important when Antony instructs Octavius to go to the field from the left side, because he had planned things. Antony had planned things, and his plan was to attack from the right side. He would be leading the wing from the right side, and Octavius from the left side. But again, Octavius does not obey Antony, and instead Octavius says, upon the right hand I keep thou the left. Octavius does not obey. It's very significant. Octavius disobeys Antony's instructions to lead from the left side. Antony's instructions to lead from the left side. To lead from the left side. This is significant. The left side. Why significant? As I said in the beginning only, that this is the concluding part, and things have to be taken to a logical. Now Brutus is gone, Julius has been murdered. There has been a power struggle in which, at the end, we all know Antony and Octavius are going to come up triumphs. They are going to be the winners, and obviously they will be in charge of things. So who is going to take over as the ruler, as the person in command? Who is going to replace? Someone has to lead the things. Someone has to be in charge. So here it becomes apparent that Antony's role had been taken care of. Like now, Antony's role has just the kind of role that he played when Julius is alive. He would be playing the same kind of role here. Octavius was not going to take orders from him. He would do things the way he wanted, and so this becomes very significant. Octavius instruction to lead from the left side. This shows the future. This shows the future of what was going to happen. Future of what was going to happen, and that's very very obvious and very apparent. that Octavius was going to be in charge. Octavius was going to be in charge. He was going to lead the triumvirate. This was going to be in charge. He was going to lead the triumvirate. To be in charge, he was going to lead the triumvirate. He was going to lead the triumvirate. Lead the triumvirate. Hmm. So Antony asks, why do you defy me at the? Why do you cross me in this exigent? Antony asks him, why do you defy me in this very critical time? Now they are just about to face the army, and at this time, it isn't advisable. No one would say that this time develop a conflict. When there are conflicts, they have to be subdued. They have to be kept down, kept under the carpet till the major crisis gets over. But apparently it was like a new crisis. No, so but Antony, he was in charge till now, so obviously gets a little bit miffed as to why he was disobeying him. Why do you cross me in this exigent? He said that I will not cross you, but I'll do what I say. He said that I'm not crossing you, I'm not disobeying you, but I'm doing what I have to do. And that is that's the point, exactly the point that I'm making, that Octavius was going to take over charge of the things. Okay, and this is what the concluding part, and so we have to know what is going to happen in the future. The play has to conclude at a point where we know what the future is like. This is historical fiction. So where does history go on from here after the death of Julius Caesar? Okay, there has been a struggle. Now struggle has come to an end. Who is in charge? Antony is not in charge. Octavius is in charge. Okay. Now the sounds of drum. Now the sounds of drum and soldiers, Brutus, Cassius, and their army enter, including Lucilius, Titinius, and Messala. So while they were talking, sounds on the stage. This was Brutus. Shakespeare wrote all his plays to be enacted on stage, and these were the mediums that he used to. These were the signs or mediums that he used to for his change of places and change of characters, new characters coming. It's not like movie that one scene, and one scene you have some characters, and the next scene you have another set of characters playing out their roles. Here it has to be some intermission in between. So these drums and all these were used quite liberally by Shakespeare, and he had to okay. Over the course of this play, I'll be dealing with a lot of these things. Okay, Shakespearean themes, experience. Like Brutus. Brutus was like one of great tragic heroes of Shakespeare. Shakespeare wrote four great tragedies, and all of the heroes of those tragedies were great men, noble men. Hamlet, Macbeth, Othello, King Lear. Okay, so these were the great tragedies that Shakespeare wrote, and all of them, all the heroes had great, they were great noblemen, the great characters, on all fronts, except that all of them had one fatal flaw. So Brutus is something like that. He's all in the same league. We can say that he's in the same league. Okay, everything that could describe a great person, everything that could describe a great noble, everything that could describe a great king, not a king, great nobleman. He had all those qualities, but with one fatal flaw, and we know what that fatal flaws were. He was, he did not have a rational judgment. He was, his sense of judgment was could be clouded by what other people said to him. At times, most of the times, he used his brains only for working out things, for doing things. But at times, he was influenced by. His mind got influenced by, without checking the facts. The point is that without checking the facts, he got influenced by what was told to him. What was told to him, without checking the facts, without verifying things, he got carried away. Not carried away, but yes, he got influenced by that, and that is why, in the case of Julius Caesar, also when he joined the conspirators, he was misled. He could easily be misled. We can, in one line, if we have to say the fatal flaw, we can say that he was easily misled. He could be misled. and that is what happened to him. Otherwise he was great, like, okay. So the other themes I'll be talking about during the course of other videos. So these people enter, and Brutus, they stand and would have, what does Brutus say? They stand and would have parley, okay. So Brutus said that, okay, they haven't gone away. He's talking about the Octavius's and Antony's army, that they haven't gone away and they would like to talk. And then Cassius says, stand fast, we must out and talk. Cassius also orders his army to stand so that they could talk. Okay. Octavius, Mark Antony, shall we give sign of battle? Now Octavius talks to Mark Antony. Antony, shall we give sign of battle? So because the armies were face to face with each other, obviously it was time to battle out, to fight it to the end. It was a battle that could be carried to the end, that had to be carried to the end. So Octavius asked Antony, is the time that we should start now? We should start the battle, we should end the fight. So what does Antony say? No Caesar will answer on their charge, make forth, the generals would have some words. So Antony says, now he is still in charge, obviously in future Octavius is going to take charge, but presently he is in charge, and says that now Caesar, Octavius, no, we are not going to attack. We would attack only once they have attacked. We won't attack. What was Antony's plan? He was a master planner, okay. It's not we have seen throughout the moment Caesar dies, he comes onto the stage, and the way he plans things out, and he plans and executes things out. Okay, so that is why when Octavius disobeys him, it becomes quite significant. Someone, a master planner and master executioner, master executor, not executioner, sorry, master executor like Antony, he is being disobeyed, because that's the sign of things to come. Okay, so Antony says that no, we are not going to attack, give the signal to our army to attack, rather we'll have a word with them first. Okay, so we'll end here today only. In the next video we'll continue with this. I hope you like the video, so please share it, like it, and subscribe to it.